thinking about like the marketing of a product, think about the reality of a service. We're in the MSC Yacht Club and we're going to give you a bit of a breakdown of all of the things that MSC promise that they'll do. But do they do them?
A lot of them that do.
Let's find out.
Oh. We researched this cruise just like a lot of you probably do. We looked at the website for the cruise company, we looked at some online reviews, we watched lots of YouTube videos, and we made a decision to book this particular cruise. And it's really interesting now that we're on board because we can now sample the product that we read up about in all the blurb, and we can now give you our take on how does it match up.
On the website, it sort of categorizes the services that you get within the Yacht Club. Now, we're going to go through each of these and all of the features within the Yacht Club. Just stick around to the end of the video, though, because I do have a little hack. And it's a literal hack, and it could save you hundreds of dollars.
And I think you should stick around to the end of the video, because I've got to. In Yacht Club, you have the concierge, which is the staff which man the main reception desk as you come into the Yacht Club area. And each cabin also has a butler and a junior butler. The junior butler acts kind of like a cabin attendant on other cruise lines. And your main butler does all those extra little nice things for you, which we'll talk about in a minute. Our butler, Dwee, and our junior butler, Dewa, have been, well,
It's amazing, like exceptional. I would say that we don't really take full advantage of the services that they are able to offer. Like, they will unpack your clothes and put them away. And
they'll accompany you to the theatre, they'll walk you down
Yes.
to your restaurant if you're going to one of the specialty restaurants. We haven't done either of those things, but we've seen other people take advantage of that. So that they really, the level of service that you get from these two has been fantastic.
if you are someone who needs a little bit of extra support for whatever reason, like being taken to dinner or being escorted around the ship, and the ship can get quite crowded, we're going to talk about that in another video, but that's where I think that service is going to become indispensable.
If you're a little bit more high maintenance, I think Ant is trying to say, you'll be catered for.
Well, actually, I was thinking if you had mobility issues and you were older.
That too.
So when we talk about Butler and Concierge, some of the other services that they also offer is priority embarkation and disembarkation as well. Embarkation for us was a real quick process. The only thing that delayed it was a few technical issues, which could not be helped. If you've already seen our first and last impressions video, I'll link it at the end of this, but that actually has a bit more detail on what happened in the embarkation process, but it was surprising how quick it was. On this cruise as well, we've also been on a back-to-back. We have to get off the ship, go back through immigration, and then come back on the ship. They escorted us the entire way, and we were always at the front of the queue. It's never a problem.
You always have a butler with you. It's not normally your butler. It will be a butler. They kind of act as like a shared pool. So it's whichever butler's on that particular duty. It's the same as when you're in port. There's always a yacht club tent pitched outside of one of the exits from the ship, where they have like, flavoured waters and a nice little sitting area. It's nice and cool for you when you come back from your shore visit. And there's always one or two butlers in there to greet you. It might not be your butler, but it will be a butler. So you get to know quite a few of them when you've been on for a while.
Yeah, and I mean, when we were at Ocean Cay, which is the private island, Dwee was handing out towels.
Yeah,
She looked fabulous in her big hat as well.
She did a great job. So I think it's a good variety of tasks for them, but it's also an opportunity for you to get to meet a few of them.
Yeah, and speaking of that, when we talk about getting on and off the ship, it's also tendering services. So we haven't had many tender ports on this cruise, but I can tell you now, getting priority tenders is a real boon if you've got a tender heavy itinerary. because the queuing system can get quite mental really, and you have to get a ticket and you have to wait and all of this. There's none of that. You don't need a ticket. Your butler or one of the concierges, they will take you straight down to the tender boats. And even if you aren't tendering out and you're in port, they will still take you down. So even if there's a line to get out, they will help you skip the line and take you right through to the front.
It's almost to the point where they don't want you to disembark the ship on your own at any stage. We asked a couple of times which deck would we go to get off the ship, and the immediate response from the concierge was, "Oh, please go and wait in the lounge. A butler will assist you." We were taken down in a small group by one of the butlers, and he did kind of like prioritize us over the queues of people already there to get off. I felt a little awkward in that he held up the line of people going through the security.
I'm sorry, I didn't. I didn't feel awkward at all.
Did you not?
No, I paid for that service. I'm happy to get to the front of the line.
Yeah, you're kind of like the main queue. They're kind of looking at you like, "Who on earth are you?" As the butler's physically holding them back as we can go through. So it's a nice perk. Obviously, saves a lot of time and hassle. But I don't know. But it saved a lot of time.
It saves a lot of time, yeah. Would you say that the butler concierge service, as advertised on the website, do you think it delivers on what they promise?
Yes.
Yeah.
Don't you?
I do. Yes, I agree. I think. I mean, I think as well. There's the frame of comparison that we always talk about is like Princess Cruises and Royal Caribbean, and we've had sort of butler service on NCL, but that was a very, very long time ago. That I would say that if you're in a full suite on those other cruise lines, it's very comparable. I would say to those. I can't imagine anything that they do over and above that you wouldn't get on another cruise line if you're in a full suite anyway.
I don't think so.
Okay, what things?
I just said I don't think so.
Yeah, you don't think so. So you're agreeing with me?
For once.
Ha! Wow. Okay, let's go into the next category then, which is private and dedicated areas. Now, why don't we're going to just quickly gloss over the cabin very quickly, because we have done a full cabin tour.
The reason I particularly like this shower is...
Obviously, that video isn't out just yet, unless, of course, you're watching this in the future, in which case it is out, and why not go and watch it after this one? Or why don't subscribe to the video down there in the corner, and then you can actually watch the video when it's out. Anyway, but this cabin is amazing. Now, they call it on the website premium location. It's not. I don't think All the Way Forward is a premium location, do you?
No, not
No,
really.
it's not. And I would also say it's very windy as well. I think that if the yacht club was midship, it wouldn't be as rocky, and you could probably get opportunities to break the wind a little bit as well in some of the outdoor areas.
The location of the yacht clubs, I think on most of their ships, the yacht club areas are at the front of the ship, which is not necessarily the best location. I think we've been quite lucky in this cruise that we've had fairly smooth seas. I'm not sure I'd want to do a transatlantic on this particular ship in Yacht Club, because you're so high up. I mean, we're on deck 16, which is the lowest deck of the Yacht Club area, but that's pretty high up and it's right at the front. I think you'd get an awful lot more movement than the cabins kind of a little bit lower down and further back. So when it says premium location, I'm honestly not sure. Having said that, it is very close to the front elevator banks. So you're literally about kind of 5 steps outside of the yacht club. I don't think they're mis-selling it. I just think it's the front of the ship is never kind of the best area.
Yeah. I'm going to say this. One of the ship within a ship concept, we said that when we talked about our video on Sun Princess about the Sanctuary Collection, definitely not a ship within a ship. This really is a ship within a ship. You do not need to leave the yacht club. And if you're going to use the spa, which we'll talk about later, or the gym, which is obviously something I like to train, you go out of the yacht club, you hit the elevator, you go straight to deck 8, and you're at the front you're at the entrance to the spa. or the gym, which are next to each other. Then you can use that and then you go back. You really do not need to interact. You can still keep up with your training and your spa activities and still not have to really leave the yacht club. Everything within that bubble is premium, but it's not a premium location on the ship, not by a long shot. And that's not to say it's bad, I'm just saying it could be massively improved.
By moving the whole thing.
By redesigning the whole thing and moving it onto another ship. No, I'm joking. We are talking obviously about MSC Seascape, which is one of the seaside class of ships. I can tell you there are stories about the world class of ships from MSC, that the Yacht Club's slightly different, and hopefully one day we'll be able to do a comparison.
But I think it's still at the front of the ship, though.
Is it still at the front of the ship?
I think so.
Oh, that's crazy. So the dedicated areas, but within a ship concept.
Yeah. Can we talk about the dedicated areas?
Let's talk about.
Because you've gone round and round the houses, and to be honest, the dedicated areas are the number one selling point for me. For Yacht
Okay,
Club.
let's go about restaurants. Let's talk about the restaurant then.
Right. So, first then, restaurant. I absolutely love this restaurant. What's it actually called? Is it just Yacht Club Restaurant?
The Top Sale.
Top Sale Restaurant. I thought that was the lounge. Is called Top Sale.
Top Sale Restaurant.
I think it's wonderful. It's open for 3 meals a day.
Mm-hmm.
I think the only time it doesn't open for
Lunch. Is on when they're at Ocean Cay, which is the private island. But then you'll recognise all the staff because they'll be serving you in the Yacht Club restaurant. That's
well, we
on
talk
the
about
island.
lunch. We've never actually been to lunch.
We haven't, have we?
We've not had lunch once.
I tell you what, the lobster roll's nice on the island though.
No, it really
You're
wasn't.
going to
It
want
was-
to check out
it
that
was-
video. Like and subscribe.
Right, you better edit that out because the lobster roll was not good, and that's what I'm going to be saying. Breakfast in the Yacht Club restaurant is pretty average. It's not elevated from, I imagine, any main dining room on a ship, but it has all the basics that you need. And we've had the Eggs Benedict a couple of times, haven't we?
I like the Eggs Benedict. My only issue is the hollandaise is a bit thin.
Bit thin, but the rest, the sausage links here are actually quite nice.
I have never, honestly, do you know what? We have been on a lot of Royal Caribbean cruises, and I can tell you now, if you want to know what deaths taste like, it's a sausage link on Royal Caribbean. I cannot believe how good they taste on MSC. They actually taste like premium Tesco sausages.
No, they don't.
Yeah, they
don't
do.
taste like a British sausage at all.
They do.
They taste like a McDonald's sausage patty.
Even
but
better.
Really,
Yeah,
really
you're
like a
right.
McDonald's sausage patty.
Yeah, you're right.
They're not. Always prefer an English, what we call an English banger, to an American sausage link. Of course, they're naturally superior. However, if they're not on offer, you have to have a sausage link, and these are the best sausage links I think I've ever eaten. So really good. And what's more, the bacon on the ship is also really good. It is the American style,
Yeah.
the crispy stuff,
I
which
can
you're
do.
not.
I'm not a fan.
Yeah, he's not a fan. I am.
I'm not a fan.
And it is very good.
And also, we talk about the restaurant, but there is obviously food that's served on the top, on the grill, on deck 20, and all of the breakfast offerings are available up there too.
Well, not all of them, no.
Can't get Eggs Benedict, but
I don't
everything
think
else,
so.
pretty much.
Although I'm sure I saw somebody eating Eggs Benedict the other morning. Maybe. I don't know. And dinner. So dinner at the Yacht Club restaurant. I have to say, the first night we went, we came away and we said to each other, what was your take on dinner? We both went, oh, man, it was all right. And I kind of felt pretty down after that first night because I thought if we've got 2 weeks of this standard of food, I think did we both have the filet steak? I'm not sure. I did.
They're allergic. It's like the food in the restaurant is very good.
Well, no. Let's talk about that first night first of all. It was not good.
Yeah, but no, it wasn't good. But the thing is, it was very much like it's like the food is allergic to salt. I don't know. It wasn't good, but it wasn't.
We came away a bit deflated about the dinner, but we persevered. Went back the next night. It was miles better, and ever since that second night, we've had exceptional food.
The food's been
in
really
that
good.
restaurant at dinner.
Really good, but I still think that it's.
What?
I think it's a bit hit and miss. I think that sometimes the food is really, really good.
Give me one dish that you've had that's been a miss since that first night. Come on.
The burger.
What burger?
The one that was allergic to salt.
Just put salt on. Honestly, he sits and moans. He'll be sitting at a table that has a salt and pepper shaker, and he'll say, "Oh, I can't taste any salt."
No, I'm just saying that sometimes the food is underseasoned.
Okay, I don't believe that.
Okay, fine.
Personally.
That's fine. Coming from someone who puts that much ketchup on his chips, I'm sure that.
And this from a man who literally every meal, no matter what the side dish is, he orders a plate of French fries.
Yeah.
Class.
And do you know what? I tell you what, we got some French fries in the restaurant, and half of them were like really hot, but then half of them were cold.
No, you said half of them are cold. I didn't.
Yeah,
experience this.
I know. I'm not lying about it, Glenn. I'm just saying some of them were cold, and I'm like, that's weird. I'm getting like a hot chip and a cold chip.
Okay, that didn't happen.
But honestly, my feeling is, on the whole, the food in the Yacht Club restaurant is very good. It's not as good as Coastal Kitchen, in my opinion, and it's not as good as obviously specialty dining. We'll talk about specialty dining in another video. However, we always said that Coastal Kitchen was comparable to the quality of specialty dining on a Royal Caribbean ship. I can tell you now that the Yacht Club restaurant is not comparable to specialty dining on MSC, but it is still very good, apart from a few exceptions to the rule where things sometimes go a bit wrong. And that's pretty much it. I'm not saying it's half and half. It's just not even close to that. But what I am saying is there are times when the food hasn't been great.
You won't be disappointed in the restaurant in Yacht Club.
Yeah, unless of course you order the cheese plate. Do you want to talk about the cheese plate, Glenn? Honestly, this was just an absolute joke.
Let's talk about that later.
No, let's talk about it now. We're talking about you. You're so complimentary about the restaurant. Let's talk about your cheese. In fact, here's a clip. Where's the crackers, Glenn? And why are the cubes of cheese like big enough as blocks that babies can play with?
It was kind of the weirdest cheese plate. I did ask the server, could I have mainly blue cheese because I like a bit of taste to my cheese, and he said, yeah, I'll make sure that you have more blue than anything else. He brings back a plate which must have weighed over a pound. And they were the biggest chunks of cheese. I actually had to use a knife and fork to cut them. Some of the cheese was actually quite nice. There was brie on there. The blue,
You
I don't know if
to
it was...
describe what it was. It was just a plate of blocks of cheese. There was like hardly any like fruits or anything.
Yeah, there
was no chutneys. There was no crackers. There was no butter. There was no nothing. It was just a plate of... It's like someone had gone to the fridge when they were hungover and just grabbed a load of different cheeses left over from Christmas.
But then they poured over what I assume they thought was honey. Tasted more like maple syrup. And they poured it all over the cheese. It was a little bit odd.
And I know for a fact that is not how Italians do their cheese.
We have asked an Italian who's on board with us what are their cheese plates like, and that apparently was not normal.
Yeah.
But you know what? Apart from a couple of misses, and bear in mind we've eaten.
I like to think of them as
times.
hilarious outliers.
We have had some fantastic food there. We've had lobster ravioli, which was beautiful.
The pasta and the risotto in the restaurant is do not sleep on either of those dishes. They're not the most exciting on the menu, but the thing is MSC know how to do like things like the best pizza. So don't sleep on the pizza. They know how to do the best.
Yeah, but nobody's really going to eat pizza for dinner in an a la carte restaurant. You are, however, going to have the truffle risotto, or you should do. Because it is amazing.
And they put so much truffle in it. Oh my gosh, it's amazing. Right, anyway, we've talked about the restaurant enough. The general consensus is an 8 out of 10.
Yeah.
At the end of deck 16, we have the top sail lounge, which is directly underneath the restaurant, which is on a bit of a mezzanine level, with a lovely crystal staircase, which is basically where you go and get your photo taken. If you probably find them all on Instagram. And the lounge is lovely. Now the lounge, the staff in there are amazing. They're really, really attentive. You won't be sat down for more than like 5-10 minutes before someone asks you if you want a coffee or a cocktail or something. But they have this area where they have these hors d'oeuvres and sweets and savoury little bites.
Petit four, I think they're called.
Petit four, more like petit 10, please. I can't stop eating the pistachio biscuits. They are so good. The ambience of the restaurant is lovely as well. And because it's open all day, during the daytime, it's very calm. It's actually very calm even in the evening when they have a pianist playing or they'll have someone on the guitar. It's just a really serene, lovely environment with great service. Also in there is where you can talk about excursions, and you'll find like one of the concierges normally pottering about as well if you have any questions regarding anything from your bill or your service that you're getting on MSC. And there's always a person knitting in the corner. I love it when you see people knitting or doing crochet or something on a cruise ship, and they just
It's a very
sit there all
relaxing
day.
place to do it.
Yeah, and it's perfect for that. If you want to do a jigsaw, the tables are big enough for things like that as well.
It was a nice venue, much nicer than most other ships we've been on.
Yeah.
It was a large area, different forms of seating, lovely views out to the front of the ship, and a really nice, relaxed atmosphere as well. And the best service. Some of the service in some other areas is a little lacking. In the topsail lounge, it's always been top notch. You are always approached within, a minute of you entering, and you have drinks there. Again, one of the things I found a little bit strange is, as Ant said, there was a lovely selection of petit four available pretty much most of the day. I don't think I've ever been in there and there wasn't anything there.
It's like 19, 20 hours a day. They rotate them several times a day.
And it's clear that it's meant for self-service because there's some serviettes and plates, etc. And yet I was in there the other day and somebody had come in and sat down. He'd ordered his drink and then said, "And bring me a selection of potato chips, please." And I just thought, that's... They're literally over there and they're intended for you to go and get them. And he still asked the butler to go and get them for you. The butler had no issue doing that and brought him over a selection immediately. I just thought, okay, there are some things I probably wouldn't ask a butler to do, and that's one of them. But the location, absolutely love it. It's one of the nicest cruise ship lounges I've been in.
Also, it's worth to note that on the lounge there is an outside area which spans the width of the ship, and you can smoke on one side of it as well if you're a smoker. Which is important to some people, but I like the idea that there is an outside area because it is sometimes it's just a really nice day and it's just nice to get outside and get some heat.
And probably one of the things you might have seen before on Instagram or YouTube is that beautiful staircase which is encrusted with, I don't know, something, and which leads from the lounge up into the restaurant. So rather than having to kind of go out of the area, up a deck and back again, you can actually go up the staircase after you've finished your pre-dinner drinks and right into the restaurant, which is rather
Taking
nice,
a heavily filtered photo, I think.
There's always people having their photos taken on that
always,
staircase.
yeah. It's very Instagrammable.
Loved it.
Yeah, very nice. But speaking of service which isn't so great, let's talk about the pool and Sundeck on deck 20.
Wow, yes, deck 20. So that's called what is it called? The one pool or something?
No,
deck.
the pool. I don't know. It's a pool and the Sundeck. What does they say on the website? Dedicated area. Well,
yeah. Okay.
Right. So the thing is, right, the pool area and the Sundeck is a beautiful area. The food there is lovely. The pool is a good size. There's several hot tubs. Can't complain about the space whatsoever.
It's a beautiful big space.
And the sunbeds are really comfortable as well. Lovely, thick, fluffy towels, and there's plenty of them. Really, really great space. To look at, fantastic. The food that's on the buffet lunch, the grill, is all really fresh. It's, for the most part, very, very good. It's not, you're going to have things like, we had biryani on there the other day. They've got things like grilled fish. You're talking food that is healthier than what you'd
Oh,
expect.
come on. They had a big slab of roast pork with the crackling on today.
So good. And as far
It's
as
not very healthy, the food. Most of what
if
we
you're
get
going
is-
to eat that, there's a big salad bar there though, and they've got couscous and that. What's that other stuff?
Can I just say the salad bar there is quite disappointing. It is literally blocks of American cheese with some kind of pretty basic looking
I had
salad leaves.
No, they've got salad leaves, red onion, carrot.
Red onion.
Cucumber.
I must have missed that.
I had beef cubes. They had croutons.
Cubes?
There is a lot of, yes, they do. There's a lot of stuff
What's
there.
a beef cube?
It's like beef that's been cooked off in cubes, and they put
Like
that-
corned beef?
No, like steak.
I never saw that. In the salad bar.
I literally had that on my lunch.
Anyway, that's one of the reasons that we actually
An egg.
booked this particular ship, because the yacht club area is large and it has the poolside barbecue, because we're not big restaurant goers during the day.
Yeah, we've ascertained we've not been for lunch.
Because we
at a
haven't been
restaurant.
once. Because it just takes too long. You know, you're down there for an hour and a half normally for a 3-course lunch. It's just too big a chunk out of your day.
Yeah.
Therefore, we're much happier with this kind of leisurely style of eating. And it also meant that we didn't have to go into the main part of the ship and to the buffet, because you had your own kind of small
Do you know,
poolside
we've
buffet
been
there.
here for nearly 2 weeks, and neither of us we've set foot in the buffet to walk through it, but we've not eaten in there. But
It's the best way to approach the buffet on an MSC ship. Just walk through it.
Yeah, we're going to be talking about why in another video, but yeah, I think the food is great. But
The
let's
pool
talk.
food is good, yes, yeah.
I don't want to end on a negative when it comes to the pool deck, because everything about it is so good, but 10% is lacking, and that is the slow service. Oh boy, I'm usually quite happy to go to the bar and grab a drink and be quite self-sufficient. But sometimes when I've got a lot of stuff with me and I'm sat down, I do kind of expect someone to come and ask me, do you want to drink? If you're in the lounge, it happened within minutes. But now look at what it says on the website about
say anything
these
about
things,
service.
about private venues. Sundeck and Pools exclusive luxurious outdoor area with captivating swimming pool, spacious sundeck and relaxing hot tubs for a remarkable luxury cruise experience. I would say they absolutely delivered on that. In the MSC Yacht Club, you are provided with exceptional service, including fresh towels and cleaning sunglasses. Or sunglasses cleaning, they've obviously, English isn't great.
Yeah, they do.
Whilst enjoying the one pool. Elegant and private cabanas are also available on selected ships. I would say that the service on that deck is not exceptional, not by any stretch of the imagination. I think that the people there are really kind and lovely to talk to, but I think that they're not proactive in the sense of, if you're sat down and you're waiting for it, they're not going to just come and find you and ask you if you want a drink. You're going to have to go to the bar and get a drink. It's not a consistent level of excellence that I would come to expect at this kind of experience that they're selling. Do you agree?
I would, yeah. It's patchy, I think, is the term. Some days it's really interesting, because today we noticed a massive uplift in the service. We were around the pool for maybe an hour or two earlier today. We were chatting with some friends, and we noticed that the drink servers were round every couple minutes. The tables were cleaned as soon as people had finished eating. That's not been the case for the last 2 weeks. But we also noticed that the Yacht Club director was kind of doing the rounds and chatting to people. So I'm not sure if that had something to do with it. Typically, as Ant said, the service is really patchy. Sometimes you can be sat for 15, 20 minutes. Not one single drink server comes anywhere near you. And yet you can walk round to the bar, which is literally probably 15 seconds just round the corner, and there's 3 or 4 barmen there.
Yeah.
And wait staff. And so the staff are there. I just don't think they're at that level where they're kind of being super proactive. For example, you can order a cappuccino. They'll bring it to you. There's no sugar. Now, I don't know how many people don't take sugar with cappuccino, but just be proactive and think they might want sugar, therefore I'm going to take it.
Well, you've got sugar today, but no teaspoon.
Well, yeah, exactly. It's just, it's not at the same level as other ships service to the kind of the suite guests, which is weird because the service that you get in the Topsail Lounge is noticeably better. I don't know whether they keep their more experienced servers for the lounge. I'm not. It certainly feels that way because I've never once had to chase anybody in the lounge. It's been very noticeably better service. Out on the pool deck, it's really hit and miss. And sometimes we've been sat on our sun lounger and said, I'm so thirsty, I'm just going to have to go and serve myself. And you shouldn't have to do that when you're paying the kind of money that you are to be in this part of the ship.
Yeah, and as I say, they advertise it as exceptional service. It's not. It's a miss. They're not delivering on the marketing on that. I'm afraid it's just the case. I would love to know what it's like on other ships because usually these things are just a training problem. It's a training issue.
Yeah,
you just need to train people to behave and think in a certain way, and it's not hard, and it just takes time. So train them, and that's all I've got to say about that. But the space is amazing, and we're just talking about slow service here, so that is only a very small part of it, and it's not going to be the same every single day. Everyone's cruise is different. Everyone has been trained to a different standard, it seems. So we're just talking about what's happened these past 2 weeks on MSC Seascape. It could be completely different on a different MSC ship. But I would love to know what your experience has been, if you've been either on this ship or another MSC ship, because I'd like to know if it does vary across different ships and why. So put it in the comments below. Let us know what.
Because we are considering.
I really want to
going on another yacht club sailing on a different ship. Yeah. But if that's the kind of service, if that's the norm, I'd really like to know ahead of booking another one.
Yeah, because, I mean, the spoiler alert is we are going to go on the yacht club again. It's a no-brainer. I 100% want to go on World Europa.
They're not going to watch to the end of the video now because you just told them.
It's not a recommendation video. We've got a ship review coming out. Spoiler alert, we're going to go on MSC again. Get your credit card out, Glenn. Anyway, let's move on. Finally, elevator access. They mentioned a private elevator. Yes, there's one that goes up 3 decks. If you are the sort of person to go in an elevator and go down 1 deck and you are clearly able-bodied, I will judge you.
We've seen quite a lot of that.
It's quicker to take the stairs. But I guess you're on vacation, so you know what? You do you. But we talk about elevator access in outside of the yacht club very quickly because, of course, you've got your magic band. Let's see your magic band, Glenn. Whee! And I don't wear mine because I have an actual watch, and having bands on both sides, I mean, no. So the magic band, you will scan it underneath the lift, and you will get the next lift that comes will be dedicated to you. They'll make sure the computers in the sky will make sure that the lift has been emptied, and then the empty lift will come and take you to wherever it is that you want to go. That is worth its weight in gold. Private and dedicated areas, Glenn. Does the marketing match up to the actual reality of what they say?
Yep.
For the most part. I think there are a few misses in there, which we have covered already. Okay, drinks packages. The website states premium extra drinks package in all ship areas. And that's exactly what you get. And the drinks package I don't drink alcohol anymore, so I haven't really benefited from it. But you have. Yeah,
everything I've wanted has been within the package. It's nice not having to kind of scan anything when you order your drinks in the yacht club area. That is different outside the ship. You do have to scan there. But I've had champagne cocktails, various kind of frozen cocktails, lots of liquor and mixers. Never once been charged. And it's decent brands as well. My Hendrick's gin is covered. My Grey Goose vodka is covered. So I think you'd be hard pushed to find things that are not included. And if they aren't, if the particular brand that you want to drink is not included in the drinks package, they charge you only the difference between, is it $16? I don't remember. I can't remember the exact price, maximum cost per
I'll put it
drink.
on the screen just here after I've done a research. Things are always changing as well.
So if the drink you want is $5 more than the maximum covered, you just pay the $5.
Yeah. I would say as well, non-alcoholic selection, it's kind of rubbish. Like, I mean, they do a couple of mocktails, which is essentially a banana daiquiri or a strawberry daiquiri or pina colada.
A panini?
Pina colada without the alcohol.
Yeah, but wait a
So it's just
second.
the
What was it you
mixture.
had the other day with the passion fruit?
But that wasn't on the menu. They have a 0% passion fruit gin behind the bar in the lounge. So that's not on the deck. That's in the lounge. And the waitress said, I'll make you something," because we got chatting about me deciding I don't drink alcohol anymore. And she made me a drink that was actually really, really nice, but it wasn't on the menu. And there are some ships that have like health bars and things like that have extensive non-alcoholic menus and protein shakes and things like that. MSC doesn't have any of those things, so I'm kind of limited to soda, and that's completely fine. I could drink Dr. Pepper until like I'm drinking Dr. Pepper solidly at the moment, and that's completely fine. But it would have been nice to have seen some options, because deciding not to drink alcohol and then coming on a pretty much an all-inclusive cruise was challenging.
Your choice.
It is my choice. My choice, my health. Spa access. Now, we haven't been to the spa, but we are going to the spa in 2 days' time. So we're going to cut to Ant and Glen in the future, talking very quickly about their experience at the, is it the Aureus Spa? The Aureus Spa? The spa. Okay, genuinely, it is not that cold. It's cold, but it's not as cold as like a cold water plunge or anything like that. But this is real snow. It doesn't smell, it smells weird though. It's not like snow. It doesn't smell, I tell you what, it doesn't smell clean, which is weird for a sauna, a spa. But yeah, and I've come in here with flip-flops on and it's very slippy, so just be careful. Very hot. Very hot. So how was the spa, Glen? What did you make of that? How great was that?
It was as expected.
I'm glad it was quiet.
Yeah, me too.
What did you think? Did you go in the snow room?
No.
I think you did.
I really didn't.
I'm
I
sure
wish I had.
I'm sure
but
it
I
did.
didn't.
Finally, and with our big $100 hack, it's actually worth more than $100. So the way the Wi-Fi works in the Yacht Club is that you get the browse package, which is essentially everything. So you can't do streaming, so no Netflix, no YouTube or anything like that. When I first got onto the ship, the first thing I did was a speed test because I work in IT, and of course I did a speed test, and the download speed was like 90 megabits per second, and I'm like, that is really fast for this browse package. And then I realized something. What they've done on MSC is they are just blocking certain sites. So they're blocking YouTube from being streamed. So if you go in here and you go to youtube.com, you'll find that you'll get a list of things, but you can't really open them or it's very slow. If you use a VPN, like Surfshark VPN, now this is not a sponsored video by any shape or form, but they do have referral codes if you're already a customer, and we've been using the Surfshark for years, so there will be a referral link in the thing below. If you go to Surfshark and then you go to like the fastest country, which in this case is the US, and then you refresh the page or the app, you can stream everything.
Well, we don't know about everything. Certainly YouTube works.
Disney Plus works.
Did it?
Yes, I've been using Disney Plus and Netflix. The hack is this: just use a VPN, and you don't need to pay the upcharge for a streaming level of Wi-Fi if that's important to you. Premium Wi-Fi is included, and the point being is they use IP blocking to block certain sites for those who have not bought the package. If you use a VPN, you can get around it. If it doesn't work for you for whatever reason, sorry, but it did work for us. Let us know how your experience is in the comments below. So basically, that's our guide to the Yacht Club on MSC Seascape, based on the advertising that MSC puts on their website. We have got a full ship review coming your way. We were actually going to talk. It's not a tour, but we are going to talk about all the different areas of the ship, what the experience is like in those areas on the ship outside of the Yacht Club. So if you're coming here and you're thinking, do I need to stay in the Yacht Club? Is it really worth paying the extra for? Stick around, because that video is going to be coming in the future, because I actually think, well, I'm not going to tell you what I think, actually.
So despite the lack of seasoning on Ant's meals, he would consider coming back into Yacht Club.
100%. Do you know what? Why don't you find out what happened on our first and last impressions of this cruise?
Yeah.
We filmed on day 1 and we're filming on day 14. After the rose-tinted glasses have faded, did MSC really live up to our expectations? Click this video next, and we'll see you over there. Thanks for watching.